Hi everybody, Chris Brasure here. I want to talk to you today about two things that somebody must know about medical negligence for one of their loved ones or for themselves. And those two things are, one, medical malpractice or medical negligence cases in Texas are very unique and sometimes very challenging. And the second thing is, to prove or to win a medical negligence case, probably the most important thing for any attorney or any family member to know is what was the standard of care. Now let me talk about both of those briefly. Starting in about 2003, the laws started changing for medical negligence cases, and they really have continued to change and make it more difficult for victims of medical negligence to recover compensation in a court. Just give you one example. In a case like a traffic accident where somebody runs a red light, if a person who was hit by somebody who ran a red light files a lawsuit, there's no expert report that's required when you file the lawsuit. But in Texas, if a doctor commits negligence or messes up, then if the person wants to file a lawsuit, then that person actually has to attach another very specific report from a doctor, and there's a lot of requirements that go into that. And that's just one of the many examples. But let's talk about the second thing, is what is important to know about medical negligence cases. And perhaps the most important thing to know is, what was the standard of care? And that's the question that the law asks of any family member or victim of medical negligence. So for example, the standard of care may be different in an emergency room than it is in a family practitioner's office. And there's a lot of things that go into it, but the critical question is going to be, what is the standard of care? And in order to answer that question, the law actually requires other doctors to testify if it goes to court against another doctor to prove that standard of care. And so those cases can be challenging, and they can be difficult sometimes. So if you have any questions about that, you feel free to ask a question in the group or shoot me a private message or an email. I'll be happy to respond, and if I can't help you, I'll point you in the right direction, okay? Y'all be safe.